So what do you expect to happen when you start dieting? What do you expect to happen when you start training? What do you expect to happen when you go from a fat loss protocol to a bulking protocol, or you go from a bulking protocol to a fat loss protocol? What do you expect to happen each time that you go into the weight room? I'm here today to talk to you about expectations, about what you think is going to happen before you start doing it. Because everybody has expectations of what something is going to be like. We go into every situation and we just know in our heads that this is going to suck, this is going to be fun, this is what's going to happen. When we decide that we're going to change our workout methodology or we change our dieting methodology, we know what's going to happen. At least that's what we perceive is going to happen. Right? We're going to be tired, we're going to be cranky, we're going to be hungry, we're going to be whatever. We have these preconceived notions as to what's going to happen in the gym when we get there. And the reason this is so powerful is because whatever you perceive, the event, the situation, the social consideration, the diet, the bulk, whatever you perceive it as being, it's going to become. It will become a self-fulfilling prophecy. And this happens constantly. Let me give you a few examples of this happening that have been incredibly evident to me over the last couple of weeks. I have a client named Liddy. Liddy, I'm going to call you out. Hopefully you don't mind this at all. But Liddy's a long-term client. And first off, Liddy is freaking awesome. She's an absolute joy to work with. And we've been working together long-term. I'd have to go back and see exactly how long, like 6 months, 9 months, possibly even a year or so. But Liddy uses me as a coach for nutrition and for strength training, and she also runs like 5Ks, 10Ks, half marathons, and that sort of a thing on the side. And we've been working primarily with two goals in mind. Goal number one, to increase strength, and goal number two, to lose fat, to slowly whittle away the fat. And Liddy's made some awesome progress. But she hasn't necessarily made the mind-blowing fat loss progress, like the holy crap, look at that before and after picture fat loss progress. That doesn't mean she hasn't done well. She's done a fantastic job. She's absolutely awesome, so I'm not belittling anything that she's done at all, but she hasn't had just that eye pop. It's been slow, gradual changes, which is awesome, which usually means they're gonna stick around, but still. So we've been working together for a while, and I had the sense that things might be getting a little stale as far as nutrition goes because Liddy has only used macronutrient counting templates up to this point. That's what she came to us with, kind of a background in macro counting, said, okay, no big deal, let's hook you up, and that's all we've gone for. But what's ended up happening is, since Liddy is training for these runs, and she goes on these long, lengthy runs, she has an expectation in her head as far as how much she should be eating. So here's kind of how it works. She gets these numbers from me, and I say, here are your numbers to lose fat, and then she looks at those numbers, and then she goes, okay, well, since Jason is only doing my strength programming here, I need to account for the energy expended on this run, and I need to make sure that I have enough fuel for that activity that I did over there, and I need to, so we have this real weird number thing because she has her own expectations of how her body is going to react, and she knows that, that her body well enough to say, this is what I need. So the reason I'm telling you this and giving you this whole background story is because recently I said we need to mix this up. So what we did was we went from the macronutrient numbers to a totally habit-based diet format. I said, let's forget counting. Let's put away our scales, let's put away our measuring cups, put away our tablespoons, and let's go with this. Let's go with, I want you to eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, and a snack. I want your breakfast to look like this, your lunch to look like this, your dinner to look like this, and your snack to look like this, right? And there's some flexibility within there. It's not like I'm telling her to eat tilapia and rice and broccoli every single meal. So it's stuff like, okay, make sure that you eat protein at every meal, make 2 of your protein meals lean and 1 of them fatty, get whole food carbohydrates and eat vegetables here, eat fruit here, eat, right? So that's kind of what we did. But I said, no counting, no scales, no this, no that, no other, just follow this template. I said, listen to your body. If you are full, if you are no longer hungry, stop eating. She said, all right, Jason, I got this, sounds good. So she goes off, and after 6, 9 months, almost a year of, okay, slow and steady progress, but nothing mind-blowing, 2 weeks, she's dropped 10 pounds and 2 inches off of her waist. In 2 weeks! And she's emailing me, and it's so awesome to see. It's like, seriously, it's what coaches live for. She's got, like, you can see her smile, like, in the email. She's like, OMG, this is so freaking awesome. I'm not hungry. I have so much energy. I feel so amazing. And the weight and inches are just flying off of me. I eat good foods. I eat until I'm full. And she said, I must have had some preconceived notion, some expectation of, like, oh, you just went out and ran and you did this and you did that. So the expectation is you must eat this, you must eat that, you need to refuel, you need sugar, you need... So those were her expectations. And it's just been such an eye-opener to her that those were my expectations, but they were bunk. I mean, they were all in my head. And it's freaking awesome to see. And now every single week when she checks in, it's like she is smaller and she has more confidence and her mind is just exploding right now. It's expectations. Liddy, you kick ass, you rock, fantastic. Another situation that became really obvious in the last week or so, I have a male client named David who just started 2 or 3 weeks ago, something like that. And he shot me a question and he said, hey, what is an acceptable loss for strength if you are no longer training for strength and you're training for vanity? David is used to doing a lot of like big 3 lifting. He's used to training primarily in the 1 to 5 rep ranges. He's used to training almost exclusively for strength. And he came to us and he said, I want to lose fat and I want to look sexy. I don't really care about the strength right now. And I said, okay, we can do that for you. So most of our programs have a minimum of like 6 reps. A lot of them are like 8, 12, even 15. A little bit of the muscular gain ranges to maximize sexiness and to lose fat and to look good and to feel good, right? And not beat up your body so much. So I kind of explained to him a few different concepts. And first off, each rep range is skill specific. So like it takes a different skill to lift heavy singles, doubles, and triples than it does to lift in the 8 to 10 range, and that's a different skill set than if you lift in 12 to 15 range. These are all seen as different skill sets. And it only makes sense that when you stop training in this skill set and you start training in that one, then you're going to lose a little bit going back and forth. If all you do is train in the 1 to 5 rep ranges, you could be as strong as an ox, but the first time I say, hey, you see that weight bench press at 12 times, you might not have enough stamina to bench it 12 times. You just might not. So that's kind of how that works. And I kind of use the analogy, what if you were a big time golfer and you decided to take a month off of golfing? And then you came back. You'd be a little rusty, right? But you'd get your swing back in a couple weeks. If we have this block and you get done with it and you decide, I want to go back to training for strength, and you can do that, you're going to pick it up real quickly. In a matter of a couple of weeks, all your strength will come back. And then also your muscles will be bigger and you'll be able to produce more force. So you will likely see those strength gains shoot up a little bit. So basically, TLDR, the summary was, dude, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. But this is natural. And then it hit me. Here's the reply. Oh, thanks. I tested my 1 rep max and I expected it to go down, but I didn't expect it to go down that much. And oh, there it was. Expected it to go down. And I went, there you go. So let me get this straight. And David, I love you too, buddy, so don't take this the wrong way. I'm just kind of explaining the concept of expectations and the way you mentally frame things. So you take something like a 1 rep max. A 1 rep, anybody who's trained 1 rep maxes on a regular basis, you know if you hesitate on that 1 rep max, it ain't coming up, right? If you hesitate on that deadlift, it ain't coming up. You hesitate on that squat, you're gonna get pinned. You hesitate on that bench press, it's gonna be stuck at your chest. You can't hesitate on a 1 rep max. It needs to be, ooh, this is going to be light, like Ronnie Coleman, right? Lightweight, right? Lightweight, baby. And that's the way you have to mentally approach a 1 rep max. You can't approach a 1 rep max like, okay, time to 1 rep max. I know I'm going to be weaker at this 1 rep max. I wonder how weak I will be. Like, you can't do that. Like, it's not going to work. And so, should you be weaker? I mean, maybe a little bit. Probably not, like, significantly. It had only been 2 or 3 weeks since we switched training blocks. But if you perceive that you're going to be weaker, yeah, you're going to be weaker. And so not only you perceive that you're going to be weaker, but maybe you are actually a little weaker, and now all of a sudden, boom, you lost 30 pounds on your bench press, and you think like your gains like went to the like mysterious gains fairy. No, it's expectations. It's all up here. You're not losing muscle, David. You're kicking ass, bro. Don't worry about it. Your results are fantastic. If you want to go back into strength, we'll hook you up later. And this idea of expectations, like what do you think is going to happen, and what you think happened, what you think should happen, happens. And let me give you one last little story about this. There was a study done on lifters, very heavily trained lifters, right? These were dudes who lift. D-Y-E-L, the answer is yes for these dudes. And they split them into 3 different groups. And the three different groups were, group number 1, they gave them steroids and they said, hey, these are steroids. Take them and go lift. Group number 2, they gave them a sugar pill. It was placebo. They did not give them steroids, but they told them, hey, you're getting steroids. Go lift. Group number 3, they gave them nothing. They said, go lift. We'll see how many gains you get. All right. So 12 weeks or however, whatever the time frame is passes. The group that was given steroids and was told, here are some steroids, made huge gains. Duh. Group number 2, the group that was given a sugar pill but was told these are steroids, made gains almost as big as the first group. Like they were like statistically insignificant from the first group. Almost as big of gains. Just thinking that they were taking steroids and expecting to be stronger gave them almost as sweet gains as the people that were actually taking the roids, that were actually juiced up. Like, it's messed up. And then, of course, the third group, which isn't an exciting group at all, the third group made modest gains because they were natural lifters, okay? Whatever. All right, so now, that's not the super interesting part. I mean, that part's pretty interesting, right? Like, come on. You just tell someone, hey, this sugar is steroids, and you make gains that are equivalent to people that are actually pumping anabolic steroids into their body? That's insane. All right, so now guess what happens when they told them all the truth. They said, hey, you're taking steroids, you're awesome. They said, hey, that's a sugar pill, haha, but you're still awesome. And they told them, like, nothing, because, like, whatever. That group is stupid. But, okay, so here's what happened. The people that, and then they had them continue, right? Continue on steroids, continue on sugar pill, continue on nothing. So, this group right here that was on steroids, and they were told that they were on steroids, and they kept taking steroids, they kept making sweet gains. That makes sense. This group, the group that was given a sugar pill, but told that they were on steroids, this group that had almost as sweet a gains as this group, that group right there, their strength levels returned all the way to baseline in a matter of weeks. They lost all their gains. 100% of their gains gone. Even if they told them, like, hey, man, that was just a sugar pill. That wasn't steroids. It's actually all up here. It's mind over muscle. If you think you're that strong, you are that strong. Holy crap, you did that stuff natty. You've got this incredible genetic muscular potential, dude. Go out there and crush it. And they're like, derp de derp. I'm not on roids anymore. I'm just weak. I'm me. Let's just sink back into my hole. And all the gains left, they were gone. The one rep maxes or the 3RMs or however they tested them, boom, all went all the way back to the baseline. And then the third group, who cares what they did again? But anyways, you know, this is just going to show you what expectations can do. If you expect that something is going to happen, it's going to happen. If you go to the gym and you're like, oh man, I drank last night, I'm tired, I feel like crap, I this, I that, I'm going to have a terrible workout, it'll probably be a terrible workout. If you go into the gym and you're like, I'm going to be stronger than I was last time, I'm going to crush this thing, then you probably are. If you go into a diet thinking, I'm going to be tired, I'm going to be angry, I'm going to be hangry, I'm going to be cranky, oh, this is going to suck, I got to go to this barbecue and I'm going to have to eat a salad, screw this. If you have that sort of an attitude, then guess what? It's going to suck. But if you just go around just knowing that you're going to dominate things with all sorts of confidence and you are going to be the best version of yourself that you can be, guess what's going to happen?